Hey there, folks. How's everybody doing today? How y'all? Let's see. Nebula, Bass, what's up? Mr. Dave, Tim, how you guys doing? Dick's in the house. I saw Bob. Yeah, Bob was in the chat earlier in the evening or earlier before the show. Thanks for everyone coming here. You guys hear me okay? I think I can hear myself. All right. Let's see. All right. Well, there's Mr. Skulls. Clutch. How you guys? Real Debrid or premiumized me. So before we won't go into resolve URL for a few minutes. We'll give people a few minutes to jump in on the show. Real Debrid premiumized. Okay, I'll give you the plus and minuses, and you decide for yourself what's fits your need. As Darren wrote, some people use both. I know quite a few people do use both. Real Debrid is the least expensive, running about $18 for 6 months on a normal basis. If it was during a holiday, right at Christmas, they run some type of special where they may give you 15 extra days. They may give you a few extra things, but that's what they do near the holidays. But it's only at Christmas. So $18 a month. Good service, not the best customer service. If you have an issue, they are going to be slow to answer you, and they're going to be very vague in answering you, and they're going to be a little bit rude if you ask in a way that they feels like a dumb question. So, not the best customer service, but the product works. Premiumized, on the other hand, works very well. It is more expensive. It's going to be probably double, if not a little bit more, than Real Debrid. So let's just say roughly, I think $40 to $45 a 6 months, something like that. Premiumized, from my experience and people that I know have said that it's a better service, as in better reliability, less buffering. Even though Real Debrid really doesn't buffer, Premiumize just a little bit less buffering. Also, Premiumize offers a VPN service that you can sign up for. I've never used their VPN service, so I can't really speak to that service to tell you how well it does. But it offers a VPN service, so that's an extra bonus on top of that. And I believe they offer some cloud space. Off the top of my head, I think it was like a terabyte or something like that. I don't know how that space counts. Maybe if you cache a torrent or something, that you can put that in your cloud space and it's not deleted. On Real Debrid, one of the things that is a downside of Real Debrid, and there's no definite answer, is with Real Debrid, people have asked, how long is this active? How long is this link going to stay active? How long is this torrent going to be here? Real Debrid gives no exact answer. The closest answer I could find on the forums when I've scanned through the forums, this was months and months ago, is it said 14 days of no downloads. No downloading, and within 14 days can be purged from the system. Now, that means that nobody accessed that particular torrent. So the thing is, with the way that torrents work on both Debrid services, is it gets put up there by whoever. Somebody caches that torrent, meaning it's stored there or it's stored at one of the hosters, something like that. And it's there, accessible to all other Debrid users. They can access that. So it's there on the cloud. If nobody clicks to that particular torrent, supposedly, roughly, after a certain number of days, it is removed because it's inactive. So that's the way I guess Debrid looks at it. Premiumize, I think, gives you a little bit longer than that. And I think you can actually store particular items on your cloud service. So that would be another one of the big differences. So you need to decide what works for you. I used RD on a regular. I'll say probably forever. Forever, as in probably the last 5 years. I've never been without Real to Bridge service. Premiumized, I used it for about 3 weeks and tried it out. Liked it. I actually added it to my into the Resolve URL, and it gave me the added links. Worked fine. I had no issues. So you need to decide for yourself which one of those works. You can sign up for a few days or a week or whatever pretty inexpensively if you think about it. And so you can check it out and see what works for you. Check it out, decide for yourself which one of those works. It fits your need. Like I said, Premiumize has more options than Debrid. And again, those are the plus and minuses that I can think of. I don't know if anybody else in the chat over here on the side, if you guys have plus and minuses to Debrid or Premiumized, write it over there. But those are the ones off the top of my head. Hey, Blamo. Hey, DJ. How you guys doing? I said thanks for joining. Evelyn, thanks for joining. Giorgio, thank you for joining. Patty, thanks for joining the show. Michael, thanks for joining the show. Yeah, sometimes it takes a little. Darren up there. Matrix, I saw. Yeah, I see Matrix jumped in the show or on the chat on the side. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for people to realize the show is going. So I hold off a little bit on the major topics until everybody gets in here and we can get going. Let me see something. All right. Yeah, so I could hear myself. I just checking the volume on that, so it seems to be working fine. Hey, Mr. Carl, what's up? What's up? What's up? And again, anybody that would like to join the panel, feel free. I don't have any other guests, just me right now. But as always, I am always willing to have people join the show. People can join the show, come on and give your opinion, your thoughts, hit, miss. Again, see how it goes. I always like to hear other people's opinions to different things because that's what it's about. It's not all about one person. You need to hear about different people's thoughts. Donnie, Dave, what's up? What's up? Freezing Aberdeen. Let's see. Bob also has joined the chat. So got a few people in here over on the side. Let's see. We're up to like 54 user or viewers. Hey there, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, Dave Fanorific has some new skins. He's been quite busy the last few weeks. I've seen a lot of new skins and a lot of reskins. If you don't follow Fanorific, he does a lot of work on skins and he does a lot of customization of skins. And so it's something that if you want to check out those skins. If you're wanting to try something a little bit different, you'll see there's quite a bit of, he's got them all. It's the range is pretty wild on what he offers as some free skins for everybody. And you can get them through his repo, which I think I was looking to see if I have, I know I have, I know I have his repo. I don't see it on here. I don't see it in my, I didn't see it quickly to grab it. I was going to post the URL if people wanted to check it out. So Ed B says, love my premiumized. Over here, I'll post over here. Had to get it back in Black Friday through, have to get it back in Black Friday, though RD is still good. Premiumized ran two different specials. They ran a special on near Black Friday, and they ran it for a couple weeks, and it made it close to the same price as RD. It was roughly $50 for the year, so it was about half price, if I recall correctly, that you could get premiumized, and I didn't jump on that. Then at Christmas, they offered about a third of the retail savings there at Christmas. If memory serves me correct, they offered a smaller savings. It wasn't as good as it was at Black Friday, and I should have bought it at Black Friday just to give me another option. I like to have extra options on stuff like that because you never know when one goes down. It's always good to have a backup. It's always good. I mean, on anything in the Kodi add-ons or Kodi, I like to have something I can fall back on. I had, for example, weeks ago, People were over here watching the UFC fight. I think it was the Conor McGregor fight. People over cutting up, joking, and using one of the subs that I have, and boom, starts buffering. And buffers. I backed out, come back in, still buffering, and you got people here. And I backed out and went into an add-on, and it worked fine. So always having that extra option is great to have. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, because if you are streaming like we are, if you don't have an extra something as a backup, you can sometimes be left high and dry. Matrix says, love RD. Like you said, premiumized is a bit more expensive, but not a lot of difference. Again, there's more similarities than differences, but it does offer the VPN service. I know for off the top of my head that was it. And I want to say the cloud storage. That was another plus that some people find with premiumized, that they find that. Up there's Fanerific, fanerific.com.uk.whizwizboing. Okay, that's his. If you want to check out his download that, and he has, I don't want to say hundreds, but it seems like hundreds of skins. He's got like every single football, soccer team that I've seen in there. That's like, so if you're a certain football fan, you'll have skins for that. And then all kinds of different stuff. So if you're wanting to mess around, it's a good thing to check out. Okay, Ed B posted on this. Yeah, so this was at Black Friday. He signed up for $99 for a 2-year sub, so $50 a year, which is just a little bit more than what you're going to pay for RD. So you can't beat that. Evelyn asked this question: what is better, Kodi or apps with RD? Now, my opinion, and this is how I feel about this. Okay, so APKs, which are apps, are Android apps, and you'll be able to install those. And some of them use RD, some of them use RD and track, but most of those, or all those apps, will only have a certain scraper package. It's only going to offer scrapers that they put into the add-on or into the APK, the app. I find it a little bit, it's not as extensive as some of the popular Kodi add-ons. I'm going to have more variety. If I'm wanting to watch 4K, I'm going to have more choices. If I'm going to find more results. Now, I only need one link to play, and that's very true, and we've all said that numerous times. I only need one link to play. But I find more to pick from to find the link I'm looking for in Kodi more than an app or an APK. So for my own personal choice, I like that. Now, APKs are simple. I mean, you browse through it, boom, 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 picture, click, and there you go. It's pretty easy. So for someone that may not need to find a particular link or wanting to look for a certain 4Ks or this or that, APK may be where it works for you. So that's for me. APKs, I'm not a super fan of them. They're okay. In a pinch, I will install them on friends or family that I need simple. When I need just super, super simple, I will set that up and say, here you go. Then I don't have to worry about them calling me. Let's see. Again, Dave's talking on the side. He's got a new sports skin, all sports, just request a team. I push it to the wizard, already over 50. So and like I said, he's got plenty. I mean, I messed around with one of the latest ones that he had, Silva something. It was a different menu, it was bubbles. Messed around with it a little bit, but then I went back to my old one. But again, lots and lots and lots and lots of choices, and a different look if you're wanting something a little bit different. Chuck says, hey, Kodi is the bestest. I like that. Dave posts on there, well-maintained Kodi add-on is better than APK due to maintenance. And I prefer to go with Kodi, but that's me. Do you use Kodi? Do you use a Kodi build or just add-ons? I use my own build, which is a very simple build. It is nothing fancy. years ago, I was more for the fancy. Now I am for simplicity and speed. So I have, like, in my build, I don't promote it. I have it out there. Whoever wants to download it can download it, but it's for friends and family more than anybody else. And I want it simple with just a handful of add-ons that work. And the good thing about that is I don't have to update mine, but once every 3, 4, 5, 6 months, because I have so few add-ons. I don't try to find the flavor of the week add-on. I don't care. I don't need to have every single simple sub menu that's going to link to every little category, like some people have boxing and football and whatever, and they create these sub menus with super favorites, and it looks great. Or they do all the trending movies, and they'll have it all out there. I used to do that. That's not me no more. That to me, widgets slow my device down, slow my experience down. I know what I want to find. I want to find it quickly. I don't want to wait for things to load. Again, it's a matter of taste. It's not what's better or worse. It's like asking somebody what's the best car. You'll have to ask 10 people. You may get 10 different answers because it's all about the taste of what they aesthetically like. So decide for yourself, and you can go simply install the basic skin and a couple of add-ons, and you'll find that your Kodi runs great. So just as an idea, let's see. Heck, I was looking. Oh, never mind. Okay. All right. So one of the things Blamo wrote in here, magnet, which that would be torrents, need to be cached. And I don't know if you don't have cache torrents checked inside of ResolveURL, you'll sometimes see it download, and it'll say download, and it tells you how many people it's got and seeders, blah blah blah. And what it's doing is it's downloading that torrent from Pirate Bay or wherever, and it's putting it on the RD system, the hard drives for right now, and it downloads them. And sometimes you have to wait. If you check in the ResolveURL settings, there is a cached only. If you turn that on, it will skip anything that's not cached, which means saved on the RD or premiumized, if you have premiumized, that's already saved on their hard drives, meaning that's going to instantly play. If it doesn't do that, it will not instantly play. Okay, so Heck says, I like reliability, good scrapes, good views, movies, TVs only. Don't need sports live or anything else. Okay. Chuck says, I'm going to do a blog on why people that use the word best have no idea what it means. That's true. Hello, Doc. JJ Cord Cutters rolled up in here. I guess he's not at work today, so I think he had to work or had something going on with his family last week, so wasn't able to do it. All right, let me take a I do have somebody that said they'll come on. I'm going to take a look at trying to keep an eye on my Telegram, because if anybody that wants to care to be on the show can jump in here. All right. Okay, so I'll wait for Carl to roll up in here, and then I will get started. I'm not sure if we got any other simple questions before we go into talking about ResolveURL terror. Is Kodi dead again? How many times do we see the videos on that? Kodi's dead, and we can probably name the 3 or 4 tubers that use that tag. Use that tag over and over that Kodi was dead, but it's not. It's not. So it's funny. Most of those tubers are gone, so we are not able to. We haven't had the clickbait as much as we used to. Hey, Carl, how you doing, bud?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm very well. Nice to see you.
Looking forward to the boxing tomorrow.
I'm going to watch it. Not a boxing fan.
I won't be watching it.
I'm not a boxing fan, but I will watch. I watch sports. So
it's 5 a.m. in the morning here. I'm not going to be watching it. I'm going to be sleeping.
Yeah, yeah. I don't blame you. I'll watch it. Like again, I don't have a dog in the fight. I was listening to ESPN today, and they said, "Is this going to bring back heavyweight boxing back into the masses?" I don't think so.
No.
I think boxing by itself is hurting. I think UFC is really hurting because it to me it's boring, and you got a lot of. And I know there's strategy to the that I know there's strategy to all that before someone actually gets knocked out.
Yeah, there's strategy, there's strength, there's stamina,
Yeah.
and it's not just about fighting as well. It's about mental agility, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you're getting your ass kicked, right? You're getting beaten up, and you're not just going to stand there and take it. You're going to have to try and fight back. So, of course, people are going to be like, well, it's not just about pure strength and whatnot. You really have to be able to sort of sustain it in your head and maintain the fight, because you are just getting hurt. You know, that bloke wants to kill you. Well, he doesn't want to kill you, but he wants to hurt you.
Yeah, he wants to knock you down, knock you out.
He wants to win, yeah.
Yeah. So it does. It's a difficult sport, but to me it just drags on. To me it just I'm like, oh, come on, do something. But I think with the heavyweights, people hope that there's going to be a big knockout. They're hoping.
Yeah, I mean, people are expecting it to be something dramatic, and it's very rarely dramatic these days, because the quality of fighters these days, whether it be in MMA or whether it be in boxing or some other martial art, everyone's getting better, because the sport is now recognizably widely available to everyone else. I mean, you can any town you go to, there's always a boxing gym, there's always an MMA gym, and that's how these people are coming into the sport. It's never as exclusive as it used to be. You think about back in the day when Mike Tyson was fighting, even Muhammad Ali, Frank Bruno, and all those sorts of fighters. It was really exclusive. It was really difficult for you to be able to break into the mainstream. Now everyone's a boxer. I mean, I used to be a doorman. I worked on the doors as a bouncer, and everyone used to come up and be like, "Let me in." No, I'll kick your ass. I'm a boxer. I don't give a fuck, mate. If you're a florist, don't rock up to my door giving it all that. Piss off.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is I guess nowadays exposure is a lot easier than what it used to be with YouTube.
Yeah, so
you can get your name out there.
Yeah, like we're doing now, right? You go back 5 years, this was never available to anyone.
Yep.
And that's like the priority of things around what we do and what we enjoy is because everyone has now got a platform for them to talk about it.
Yep.
And suddenly it becomes very popular. It becomes very popular. If we go back to like days of year dot when torrents were quiet, or MP3 downloads were quiet, or even Kodi or XBMC was quiet, there was no real YouTube to really sort of promote it. Now everyone with a camera can go on and become an expert, and because there's no verification around qualities and such, everyone is just suddenly an expert. If you've got a YouTube channel, you consider yourself an expert. It's not
right here.
Mate, listen,
an MF expert.
I just talk with a bit of authority in my voice, and everyone believes me.
That's right.
Fucking clue what I'm on about. I talk shit all day long.
That's right.
That's my job. I literally just talk shit for my job, and everyone's like, "Oh, you know what you're talking about."
Yeah, you just got to say it with some authority and feel like act like you know what you're talking about. People are like, man, he's an expert. So hey, I want to say, I am now. I heard, is that gonna discontinue? Did I see something about they're not gonna make it no more?
No, I hope not. Loads of Scottish people will be up in arms.
I know. Well, it's probably some of that Russian Facebook BS, because it said something about I Am Brew. The last bit of I Am Brew was being made or something. So
no, I don't know. I think there's like a couple of like recipes and such, and there's like a classic recipe that no one really follows anymore, and now it's like all this sugar-free shit. Because obviously, I don't know if you guys have got it actually, but in the UK we have a thing called the sugar tax. So if you go into a restaurant and you buy you buy a Coke, okay, or into a shop, you buy a full-fat Coca-Cola, it costs a little bit more than a sugar-free version because we have a sugar tax.
Wow.
So the government in this country is now taxing people for drinking sugar. Fuck that. It tastes nice.
Yeah, so they'd rather you drink chemicals. Because, most sugar-free.
Diet Coke's got aspartame in it, which will kill you.
Yeah, so they'll rather you have some chemicals than sugar. Whatever.
I just really like Iron Brew. I'm not even Scottish, remotely Scottish, but this tastes.
I had it. I ordered it. It cost me a 6-pack, or it was like a 6 or 8-pack. Cost me like $30. I had to order on Amazon. It was crazy. It was okay. Kind of just like an orange drink to me a little bit.
Extra Dave C. I'm drinking extra. Extra's nicer. I like it.
It's extra tax. Extra
well,
tax.
No. It's basically the equivalent of Pepsi Max.
I don't drink Pepsi Max. I drink.
You know Pepsi. The concept behind it. Coke Zero.
That's fake Coke. That's like sugar-free Coke.
Well, that's what this is. This is sugar-free Iron Brew, but it's
see people look at this. You see this body right here? This is a sugared body.
Fucking
this is how you run. There's sugar-free body, sugar body. You decide which way you want to go, folks.
See, if there's a boxing match with extra heavyweight, I'm going in it.
I tell people I can send you my diet plan. It's full of shit, and you stay nice and slim. So we'll go ahead and get cracked. Hey, I want to say one thing while you're here, Carl, because I know it's going to be getting late for you. So if people want a good hosting service, and again, I usually don't promote a lot of BS. I don't post hot links, but I
don't pay you to promote me either.
No.
I pay me for a service.
I do pay my service. He doesn't cut me any slack. Can't we work something out there? But no. But it's a great service, inexpensive. If you're wanting hosting, he's got a great hosting. And I know that I'll have to say, I even have like Charles downstairs who has his own website because he wanted to post his art.
He's got a big website.
No idea. He had no idea how to create a website, and you helped him get it set up. I mean, you didn't create the website, but you kind of gave him a basic idea. Hey, these are where you need to go, and you kind of gave him a baseline. And he actually had a family member that helped him finish up the actual website. But again, super inexpensive, and you do a great job. And I know when I've had issues with my server for my repo stuff, and I'll send you a message. I'm like, why is this not working? And usually less than a day, and sometimes a whole lot quicker, you'll look and you'll be like, I was looking at it.
Depends on the time frame, doesn't it? Because I try not to. So I created antisocial hosting, right, which is what I do because it's my hobby. Effectively, Coda used to be a big hobby for me. It's not anymore. I've always been involved in internet services since like '94. I started my career at '96, and I've always been in IT, and I've always been in hosting, and I've worked for some of the UK's largest websites, Auto Trader, the Hut Group, people like that. They're massive websites in this country, and I've always hosted sites for friends, and it's always been very difficult to sort of capitalize on that, really. And because let's face it, right, service costs money. I've got to pay for them. So I was on holiday, and basically I think it was actually you that came to me and said, do you know who I can host my site with? And I was like, well, actually I'm thinking of starting my own thing, just simply because I need to get people to really sort of use it properly. We're 2 years in now. Antisocial hosting is going massive. It's pretty big. I've got I think I'm at 15 servers now around the world hosting websites, not just Cody stuff. It's not just a Cody thing. It's a load of websites for different people doing different things. I've got a load of blogs. I've got a load of different sort of types of websites. I've got apps running. I've got a couple of there's a couple of Android apps that run. There's a fitness guy that lives around the road from me that's using the service. It's literally the reason I created it is because I love hosting. I love websites. I'm always working on something. I'm always doing something. I have to be doing it, otherwise I get bored. And so I just created it. It doesn't pay me a wage. It doesn't do anything like that. It does give one of my friends a job because he hasn't got a job, and he helps, and Will's pretty much doing it like a lot for me. But You mentioned like you messaged me a day later, I'll get it back to you. That's just because of our time frames. You know, you're 5 hours behind me. It's 10:30 here at night. If you message me, you know, if I'm up, I'll reply. And you know, I'll reply, and then you'll be at work, and then by the time you come back, it's 24 hours later. So you know, I do it because I just want to help out people, and I'd like to just sort of have a bit of fun, and it gives me a place to put some of my own stuff, because I'm always working on new things. I've got about 20 different things going on at the moment. I'm always just playing. You don't have to use the service. I don't expect everyone to use it. Just if you need a website space, come to me. Go Gaddy, wherever you want to go. I don't really mind. Even if you've got like a question, you come and ask me, and I'll be like, oh, you know, I can't get my repo to show. I can't get it in File Manager. What do I do? Oh, just upload this file. It'll work. Oh, cheers, man.
Yeah. Well,
I appreciate that people like it.
Yeah,
I appreciate that it's challenging.
You do a great job of getting back. I mean, like you said, it's not always instant, but sometimes it is. I mean, sometimes you get back pretty quickly.
So anyone that uses the help desk, Will, who is my friend, he replies within minutes. So he's monitoring that from about 8 o'clock in the morning UK till about sort of 7, 8 o'clock at night. I'm also watching it as well. I mean, I literally, when I'm at work, as I am now in my home office, or I'm at the office, then it literally just sort of sits there and it flags up and says, oh, there's a new ticket. And one of us will just jump on it right away and reply to it. We have a couple of issues with PayPal. I think PayPal is one of our biggest bugbears at the moment. And that's just simply because of the way that the invoices are generated. People think that, you know, we're taking money from you. What actually happens is when you pay with PayPal, it creates a subscription, and PayPal then pays us regularly. You don't have to do anything about it, and we can't instruct them to give us money. But sometimes it can create duplicate subscriptions, so we actually get the money twice, which we don't know anything about because we're not watching the transactions. We just see the invoice paid, but they've taken an extra transaction behind, and it's frustrating because we've had a couple of people say, you know, oh, it's your fault. You know, you're taking money out of me and everything like that. It's like, we're not taking money. We don't control it. Here's your money back though, and off we go.
But it's not. In all fairness, I mean, it's not a lot, because if you're paying quarterly, it's pretty cheap. I mean, it's about the cost of going to lunch. I mean, for a 3-month subscriptions, and so I don't know.
We support PayPal and we support credit card.
Yeah.
The big problem I have with credit card is that the money doesn't come to me for 5 days. So it sits in someone else's account for 5 days. So, you know, you pay with Stripe, which is our payment provider in the UK, or one of them, and I can use a number of them, but that one pays. And it's 5 days later. You make a payment, you paid for your service. Now, especially if you're paying for dedicated servers, I don't get the money for 5 days. I'm kind of like going, I'm playing bank now. I've got no money. Oh, shit. But then 5 days later, the money drops in, and then I can pay. Because the thing I have to make clear with everyone is there are 2 types of hosting, right? You've got shared hosting and you've got dedicated hosting. Shared hosting is you basically having space on someone else's server. Now, when you go to the internet and you want to buy hosting, you're essentially 9 times out of 10 you're buying shared hosting, which means someone's got a massive server, they've carved it up into little pieces, they've got a control panel that sits over the top that allows you to manage your individual little component where your website exists, which means that you're sharing the CPU and the memory constraints of everyone else that's on that site. So if there are people that are hammering it because they're really busy, the sites are incredibly busy, you're going to have a knock-on effect. At the end of the day, it's a £4, £5, £6, £7, £8, whatever service you've got. That's how much it costs. You're not going to get a dedicated server for that amount. It's just not possible. If you want a dedicated server, then you have dedicated hosting, which is your own server. But the majority of times when people buy that, and this is the reason why hosting companies like me exist, is because it's easier for us to manage it for you. You know, no disrespect to anyone that's watching, or no disrespect to people out there in the Cody world. They're not necessarily technical people, and that's because they found a hobby, they've got into it, they've fallen into it, and they know about that hobby space. but they don't necessarily know what's sitting behind, like in terms of the tech that actually powers the Kodi framework or powers the add-ons, where they come from in the data and whatnot. So we as hosting providers, we create an easy service. We basically set something up that's really easy, and shared hosting is the easiest way for you to have a website online and a repo online for your files and whatnot. You can use GitHub and everything like that. The risk is that it'll get taken down or someone can clone it, right? With a dedicated hosting, it's your server. It's not mine. I don't do anything with it. I have a login, but I if you're using it from me, by the way, I have a login, but you have no control panel. You've literally got Linux and it's SSH, and you have to know how to manage it. If you don't know how to manage it, then you can put a control panel on there, make it a bit easier, but then it suddenly becomes more expensive. And that hobby becomes a cost, which is why people are asking for donations, or they have pin login screens with adverts. I saw someone mentioning, "Oh, what's pin system like?"
Yeah.
It's broke. It basically gives you the ability to have a page where they can track the hits that come through, and they can make money off the adverts and whatever, and essentially make some money out of it to pay for their hosting. I think it's fair to say that, if you're using an add-on and they have a buy me a beer or buy me a coffee link, and you're using it constantly, and you don't have RD or premiumize, give that someone a drink. You know what I mean? Because they're paying for you to have something for free, and even if you are buying RD or premiumize, that add-on isn't actually getting any of that back. Now, the chances are that the add-ons are using one of the frameworks that's out there right now. And isn't really difficult to put together. But just think about, when you're getting something for free, someone ultimately is paying for it. Yeah. Someone's got to pay for it. So yeah, but I appreciate you talking about the service. I use it. It's mine. It's my little baby. It gives me something to put back into different areas of the business and different areas of tech, because I like using it. It also looks fucking amazing on my CV. I say, I own this business, and it's got 80. I think we're at 87 users at the moment.
Nice.
87 users, 15 servers that are mine, that I've got customers on, because I don't oversubscribe. I try and minimize and spread them out, which is costly. But and then I've got a load of people with dedicates as well. So I've got people that have bought dedicated. Again, what I do is I just go and find the cheapest option that's out there, for the best value for money, with the best networking that they need and everything that they need, buy it for them and add a couple of quid on it for management, and that's it.
Yeah.
So and the thing is, dedicated service cheap. That's Mark. That's Mark. That's fucking Mark. Hello, Mark.
Hello.
Hey there.
Let me turn YouTube off.
Test. Wait, I still hear me, Mark.
I hear you.
Well, I know. There. All right, I'm not hearing myself anymore. But the thing is that there is, like you were saying about with shared hosting, and we'll get talking about Resolver in just a second. With shared hosting, we have seen the issue when you're sharing with certain people. If somebody is very, very popular on your server and you're sharing, then all of a sudden your bandwidth goes down because you've got one person or two people that are just draining all the bandwidth. And that's where you and I have talked about, where you've went and talked to somebody and said, hey, you're hammering the server. You've got to do something different, because you're hurting all the other customers on this.
We had that guy on Twitter. If you remember, we spoke about it in our little chat, that there was a guy on Twitter was like, I've got to get a new domain because my hosting provider is telling me that I'm smashing the service. I'm like, actually, that's not true. What we said was, you're extremely busy. You might want to look at a dedicated server. Yeah. And he just decided to take it completely wrong and then go and slag the service off and slag me off on Twitter. And I'm like, you fucking prick, shut up.
Well, he backpedaled at the end.
You're hosting 500 meg builds and you've got 20 people trying to download it. Suddenly your bandwidth is full.
Yeah, and it hurts everyone. So it is good that you handle it in a way of saying, "Hey, let's."
Yeah,
and you try to be. You're tracking what bandwidth is. You're not tracking.
Yeah, so I'm not tracking. Yeah, so that's
you don't
the
care.
Important thing. I'm not tracking user requests. I don't do anything like that. I do if someone raises a ticket and says, "Hey, I'm having a problem. no one's been able to download anything, then we do check it to see. Well, actually, people are downloading. You're lying a bit, or you're exaggerating a bit. But the thing that we check, I'm actually just going to bring up one now, so that I can show you. Can I have the screen for a second?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you share that with me? No. Can I share desktop? Can I get my desktop?
Oh, you got to send me a
Hang
request.
on, I got it.
Okay.
Share screen. I want not that one.
Oh, not that one. Yeah, that one might. That one's just for him.
I remember I signed up with Carl when he first started, and I broke his shared server within 3 days.
Yeah, you did.
So
Way to go, jerk.
This thing's basically being a pig. Hold on.
Hey there, Wendy.
Let me try a different screen.
New War. I think I said New War. Wasn't it New War? N-War. Because he said it was an N and then war. N-War.
No, it's not letting me share screens. I was going to show you. I was going to show you basically the stats that we see. So we track like the usage of the servers, and we see how busy they are. And I've got one dedicated server for a customer that I'm actually actively tracking, apart from Mark's as well, because like he's got one with me. But I'm tracking one that's literally got nothing but one guy on there, and it's at the moment I'm currently tracking 181.2 megabits per second.
Wow.
Now that's a lot in terms of the internet. It's going fucking mental. Please put a vagina up. What's a vagina? You mean a vagina?
Is that Wendy?
No, Nunes, that's not yours. I don't know what that is. No.
Oh no, Mark was showing his kitty.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hello, little baby.
So, all right, let's go ahead since we're going to talk. Today's show was supposed to be about Resolve, and I talked about other stuff, and then we got on hosting. ResolveURL. Okay. And I'm going to try to break this down in a simple way so that people that are watching, maybe they understand this a little bit better.
Don't ask me because I haven't fired Cody up in years.
Yeah. Well, I know. I think I'm about the only Cody user that's on the panel right now. But so
that's why we're called Streaming Matters and not Cody Matters anymore.
That's right. We've got more options. Okay, so what happens to kind of give you just a ballpark, just a basic idea. So a Cody add-on will have a scraper, and you've heard of scrapers. You've heard us talk about scrapers. So the add-on has a set of scrapers, and so you make a request for a movie or TV show. It looks through its library of scrapers, which means it's looking through its library of web pages that have certain websites. And you sometimes have seen it like back in the old days, you saw Putlocker or whatever. You saw these different websites listed. The scraper looks through there and says, hey, do you have this particular movie or show on those websites? Then it finds all those, and that's the results you see. And then when you click a link, that's where ResolveURL would kick in, and ResolveURL would basically resolve the final link for you, the final location, where it was located. Because if you've seen a lot of scraper add-ons, you'll see sometimes two names. You'll see, let's just say Putlocker. You saw Putlocker, and then you saw, let's say, G Drive. So that meant it looked at the Putlocker website. It found that Putlocker had a link, and if you clicked that link, it took you to G Drive. Now, sometimes you saw Putlocker a bunch of times, and it would be different names. So ResolveURL basically takes you not from the first action of getting the links. It takes you to the second one, which actually takes you to the actual location where that link is at. Okay, so that's ResolveURL. That's how it works. It used to be URL Resolver that was controlled by TVA, ran by different people in TVA. Then TVA went to crap. JSergio left TVA and created ResolveURL. He's been doing this for what?
He forked it. He forked it.
He forked it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's why you have a ResolveURL and the URL resolver, because he forked, made his own version of it. Most people trusted him more than they trusted TVA. Okay? So I guess he's been doing this for a couple years now. It's like 2.5 years maybe that I guess he's been doing it. Maybe 3 years. JSergio has decided that he doesn't want to maintain it anymore. So he's going to stop. And he posted this. He actually mentioned it in one of my groups on Monday. I talked about it in a couple of my smaller groups. I didn't make an announcement publicly because it wasn't my place. That's his thing. It's for him to make that announcement. And then he posted, Blamo says 4 years. So he posted on Twitter. So I felt like, all right, it's safe to talk about it publicly since he's made that announcement. So people are saying, is this going to impact me? In the short term, no. In the short term, those links, those resolver scripts, plugins are going to continue to work. But as websites change, it could stop working. Those final links, if they change a website or they change the way that they're laid out, they change, if the website where it's hosted changes, it could break that resolver for that particular thing. If you've ever had like certain add-ons that's like, well, it used to give me a whole bunch of links, now it gives me less because certain scrapers aren't working. It's the same idea. You will get the same results as a scrape, but it may not find the location. So in the short term, is it going to kill Cody? No, it will not kill him. Long term, it will have less and less links working. It will possibly start to work, breaking up. Is it you, Carl, that I'm hearing my echo in my ears?
I don't think so. I'm going to mute myself just in case.
All right. Yeah. Well, test. All right. So it was less and less links will work. Now, there has been a couple people that may take it on, Mark. There may be a couple people. There may be a couple people willing to take on Resolver. What JSergio said was, I would like people to fork it. He will make changes on GitHub. He will post changes. Now, people can take a look at that and implement those changes into a forked version of ResolveURL if they want. But he said that he will not. He said, when I have time, I'll make changes. So you can't depend on it, but he says that he may. What my concern is that we're going to see a bunch of people creating their own versions of ResolveURL. So if someone makes a small change in ResolveURL, they'll like change the number from, what's it, 0.54 or 5, I think it's 0.58 right now. My concern is that you're going to find 3 or 4 or 5, 6 repos, there may be more, all making changes to ResolveURL and then up in the number.
Everyone's going to do it.
And then the problem with that would be is like if you have 5 repos installed on your Kodi setup, which is not a lot for your Kodi setup.
It's going to be Sports Devil all over again.
Right. Sports Devil, or you guys remember Extended Info Mod did the same thing. Everybody had their own version. One was trumping the other one. So my concern is that people that don't know what they're doing, stay the hell out of it. The people that can do something, they can, do with it. Don't everybody that has a repo go and decide they want to push updates. So, and all right, and ARB, all right, so ARB kind of has, what my concern is this is what my concern is. All right, so TVA picked up ResolveURL's update that happened yesterday. So Resolve, which is JSergio, ResolveURL, JSergio pushed that. Of course, TVA grabs whatever he pushes out. They basically fork it. They take it and clone it, copy it, and they call it URL resolver, and they push it out at the same update. If you guys remember correctly, do you remember the issue that everybody had on the last update for ResolveURL? TVA pushed Indigo on everybody's setup that had URL resolver. So if you had a TVA repo and you had URL resolver, it would get the update for URL resolver, but it would also install Indigo on your system even if you didn't click it. So that's my concern, because the last update, this last one that happened yesterday, TVA removed the Indigo plugin. So it didn't push the Indigo update, or you didn't automatically install. But who's to say if everybody starts to depend on URL resolver, because if ResolveURL is not being updated, TVA is like, well, we got this. We got URL resolver, and then all of a sudden people start using it, and they're like, oh, well, guess what? Everybody gets Indigo plugin, so we can try to sell VPN services, because anybody that's had Indigo, that's the first screen you see. So a bit of concern, nothing to worry and nothing to be screaming and running to the mountains about, but a thought process.
It is a valid concern, and I think with every time that someone decides that they don't want to be part of the scene anymore for whatever reasons, there is always that concern that someone is going to pick it up and do something malicious with it, because we are very trusting in what we do. We have to think about Kodi as a third-party add-on system. There is, the moment that you untick the verified sources, which are basically anything that comes from the Kodi repo, you are immediately opening up your system to some sort of change that Kodi won't necessarily track. So TVA do it. They've installed things under the hood. They're called side loading. So they side load in Indigo. Other people can do the same thing. And, we're just going to have to deal with that. It's going to be one of those things that if someone wants to do it, it's going to happen. If people are immediately start picking up the plugin and start renaming it, and again, we're going to have like the Sports Devil scenario. Someone is just going to put 99999.999 as the version number,
yep,
and then suddenly no one else's version is going to work.
Or you'd have to manually go in to put a lower number. But you're right. Your comment here about turning off auto updates would be one of my suggestions that I was going to suggest in it.
See that what that does is that freezes you on the current version that you've got now. If JSergio is going to be making some changes or suggesting some changes, because what you've said is he's going to be suggesting changes.
He said he would post it. He'd post it on his GitHub. Yeah,
so he's suggesting changes. He's not necessarily making them. If people then take that and install them, update the ResolverURL or URLs or whatever it's called these days, and push it out, because you've not got it enabled for updates, you're not going to see those changes. So suddenly the availability of content is going to start to drop.
Well, but you would have to. What you're able to do if you look at but that means people are going to have to take a little bit of responsibility on their setup when they open up Kodi. You can go to add-ons. You can go into add-ons, and it will tell you updates available. Almost every skin.
So you have to manually do it.
But if you manually look at it, yeah. If you don't do
that, which a lot of users are just users, they don't do that. You are going to harm yourself. You're not going to have the content that you need available.
Yeah, but if you go through and turn off auto updates when you open Kodi, go to the apps, the add-on section, check for updates, and see what they are, because it'll list it. And then if let's say that it said ResolveURL had an update, you actually can click it, and it will tell you what repos have it, and it will tell you the version number for each of those repos. So you can decide at that point which one you want to pull from. So that's something also when you're going to do it, pull it from one that you trust.
Well, so that becomes a difficulty, right? Is at the moment everyone knows to go and get it from JSergio, right? Because he's the authoritative person for maintaining that. he's the go-to guy. He's the one that's got his name on the add-on, and everyone kind of knows him. The technical people of the world know him. If other people start doing it and they start making their own little incremental changes, who's authoritative? Whose version do you trust? Do you remember when there was loads of clones of Exodus and that, and then suddenly they would have 20 extra links for the same video because they were looping through?
Yeah. They were duplicating.
Yeah. We will literally have the same thing. Yeah, we'll have the same thing again. Just be more tap, more shit. I love ARB's comment that Mitch's place will sort it out, and that guy will sort nothing out. And that's me saying that. But we'll end up with that scenario again where people are they're unsure who to get it from. Someone will say, "Oh no, get it from me because we're the best," and it works well with our add-on. And then suddenly you've just got a load of different people pushing the same add-on, and it's going to become very complicated. And to the non-technical user, the person that just literally wants to fire up and watch a copy of House of Cards or The Mandalorian or The Good Place or whatever, they don't care. They don't know. They don't care. They rely on people like us to push this into place and give them the trust that they need, that what they're looking for is going to work for them. And we can only do so much. We can only lead a horse to water. We can't make it drink. Right, so users are unfortunately going to hurt themselves. They're going to have to take some sort of trust in it and take some ownership, but they're not going to do that.
Oh, they just want to click play.
Well, then maybe
I'm the same, mate.
Well, maybe that'll be the reason why some people may find over time. Now, again, we're not talking this right away. This is stuff that's going to happen over months because JSergio is only pushing 2 to 3, 4 updates a year right now. It's not, if you go back and look at it, and I'm off the top of my head, it's not that many changes.
That's only because he needs to. The sites that he uses and the code that he uses is very flexible. It works with the sites well. But if the sites start to change the way that they do things, then there are going to need to be more updates. And then becomes the problem, well, who's the person that we trust to do the updates? Who is that person that's going to maintain it? Suddenly there's 6 copies of it available from 6 different repos because you've installed all the repos that you want to get all the content. Who do you trust?
Well,
and I copy every one of them.
Yeah, well, that probably. But all right, so we've complained. Well, I've complained about with a flood of ignorant users that Fire Sticks and Fire Stick sellers and box sellers and have flooded Kodi with. That we have so many people that have no idea they're buying a Fire Stick off of eBay or wherever, and they plug it in and they've been promised that they can cut their cable bill and never pay again. So I think that at a point this is going to have to force some people to, like you said, become educated. They're going to have to do some homework to understand how some of this works. And if they don't, well, then their experience is going to be a whole lot less than someone that stays.
And immediately it's shit because it doesn't work.
It may be shit. And then guess what? It'll be less people using it.
Yeah. I mean, Kodi will never die, right? And
no.
I think very recently the Team Kodi actually put out another statement about Kodi shouldn't be associated with these third-party add-ons and these boxes and Fire Sticks and whatnot. It's just a service that allows you to watch content that you've already downloaded. But people that are selling it on Facebook and they're selling it on eBay and whatnot, they don't make that separation more clear. They say this is Kodi. This is a stick that allows you to watch absolutely everything, including all the fights and all the TV shows and all the movies you could ever possibly want for free. All you've got to do is turn it on and click on this app called Kodi. Suddenly it works. And so everyone's like, oh, so yeah, Kodi makes it work. That's what it is. It's Kodi. Kodi does it. Kodi does it. And then it doesn't work. Kodi's shit.
Well, Chris, your comment as far as URL resolver, All URL resolver is a direct copy and paste of ResolveURL. That's all it is. Anytime ResolveURL updates, douchebag will just copy it and paste it and push out his update.
It's always right after it. If you look, it's like within an hour or two after JSergio does ResolveURL, URL resolver basically copies it like Mark says and pushes it out as theirs. So you're not gonna be able to count on URL resolver to be the answer because they're only copying what's already out there. So if JSergio's not updating ResolveURL, how is TVA or URL resolver going to get them? So, but I do one of the
another way for donations.
So I saw Blamo said something people are going to need to learn about resolvers. I don't think that people. What my point was that people aren't going to have to learn how to do resolvers, but they're going to have to learn who they can trust and where they can get this stuff, or slim down their repos and not have 50 repos on their builds.
But Dave down the pub and just bought it off Facebook off some guy because he's advertising it. He's not going to know who to trust. He doesn't know anything about it. He's going to turn it on and expect it to work.
It's filled with super repos.
Yeah, it's a very difficult one, right? Because everything that we do is against what Team Kodi say is official usage of Kodi, right?
True.
So immediately the verification of anything that we build has gone right out the window. No one can verify what we build. I could completely just have a fit one day and decide that all of my stuff, which is offline anyway, could have backdoors.
Thanks a lot.
Everyone keeps asking. I get so many messages. When are your porn add-ons coming back on? When I stop using them, I guess. Basically, there's nothing out there that would stop me from deploying something inside my component and pushing it out. And because people trust that my add-on works, they don't know what I'm installing behind them. But the point that I'm trying to make is that we have no verification system. No. Everything is completely open. There is absolutely zero way of verifying it apart from maybe a Twitter account or a GitHub repo that says, this is my code and whatnot. But users, they don't care. They're not interested, and that's not their that's not us. That's not me having a go at them, because I'm not trying to pick a fault with users. All I'm saying is that the users that want to do this because they want to bypass watching something for free, that have no concept of the technical side of things that we do and the people in the chat do, because a lot of the people in the chat are technically minded. They've either installed a build or created a build. I would hope that they know a little bit more than just moving GIFs around and stuff like that. But essentially, they know a lot more than the average user. And suddenly, as I say, Pete or Dave or Steve or Gareth down the pub has seen on Facebook that this guy's advertising a fucking Fire Stick for 80 quid, and it gives me absolutely every movie and TV show that I could possibly want under the sun. Well, that's 80 quid well spent, right? Because I'm spending however much on Netflix and whatever. But suddenly it stops working, and he's got no way of getting in touch with the bloke that sold it to him. And now it's shit. It's Cody's fault. It's crap. No one knows what he's doing, and it's that fault. It's absolutely a problem. Now I'm looking just at Facebook now, for example. Some guy is selling. Let's see this right. So some guy has got Fire Sticks 4Ks, and he is selling an update to them for 30 quid. Now I can guarantee you that what he's selling there is he's selling a Kodi install with a build. Everyone go and give this guy shit because he's a bellend. But they are essentially pushing something that is free. They're pushing something that shouldn't cost anything, apart from if you want like the grid or premiumize. But going back to the original point is that users don't care. They're not going to care. They just want something that works. And unfortunately, there is no way of guaranteeing that to ever happen. We rely on build makers to be almost the authoritative end user support system for developers. You know, I don't class myself as a developer. I just piss about with stuff, but there are real true developers out there that are building things that are not inside any framework, and the build users take that add-on and they put it into a build and then they push it out for people to consume, and they effectively handle all the support. There's no money exchanging hands, or shouldn't be, but you know, your users just don't care. They're not interested. We are never going to change their minds. We're never going to change their views. We will manage some people, manage some people's expectations, and people that know the group and people that know people in the industry, or I say industry, it's not an industry. People who know people in the community will know who to trust and know not to trust, and they'll know what add-ons to install and what not add-ons to install. But I'm pretty sure that what we consume is probably only a very small part of the whole thing. Coding, after all, is a global thing, and you know it's just massive. It's just massive. I guess I'm not actually sure what I'm saying. It's too late.
All right. So JJS. So who do we trust? Okay, I would say.
Don't trust me. I'm a dick.
Just me. No, I would say what you're going to have to do with a lot of these people, and most of the people that are watching are people that follow us or follow the show on a regular. So most of you guys are staying informed. You're trying to pay, and I would probably stay with the mainstream repos right now, the repos that we know about. I saw that somebody, I think Ed B posted that Tempest has already pushed out a 37.A for ResolveURL. I don't know what's in that, why he made it an A. But that's the confusion that I'm thinking that a lot of repos are, well, I don't want to say a lot. I think some of them will push it around. But the big ones, the big popular ones that you hear about their add-ons are probably going to stay. They're probably not going to make any changes. If I see somebody that's going to push, I will talk about it on the show. I think we're safe for a few months, and maybe that'll give it time for somebody to fork ResolveURL, because that's what JSergio, he doesn't want someone just taking the same thing and renaming it, or not rename it, just taking it and up in the version. He wants it, if they're going to do it, go ahead and fork it, just like he did from URL Resolver. When he forked ResolveURL, he made it its own thing and it took its own direction.
It's a very big undertaking to take that on.
It is.
If anyone is serious at taking it on, there are a couple of requirements in which you should make sure that you're aware of before you do it. First off, can you code, right? Because if you can't, don't do it, because you are going to be watching all of the websites that are listed and all the new websites to make sure that you get the regular expressions set right in Python, being able to build it. Secondly, you're going to need a lot of time. It's not a 2-minute thing. It's quite a long and horrible task building add-ons and plugins for sites. Remember, you're not building off a list here. You're building an actual proper core meaty add-on here. This is going to get you some real brownie points. And if you walk into a nightclub and be like, "Hey baby, you ever heard of Cody? You know URL Resolver? I fucking wrote that." And be like, "Oh my God, let me give you a blowjob right now." You're going to score some wicked points. But the other thing as well is that even though what you're making isn't in any way, I suppose arguably could be considered illegal, right? If you're in the UK, you might get screwed for it. But you're going to be a target. You are going to put a massive, massive target on your back, because suddenly you are responsible for empowering all of the fucking add-ons within Kodi that are in the third-party scene that use them to watch content that they haven't paid for. Someone somewhere is going to come after you. So unless you can handle that, don't do it. Don't think about it. Just don't do it. I would not. And I piss around with a lot of things, and I'm stupid. If Sergio came to me and was like, "Dude, listen, I've seen some of your code. I think you could handle this. Do you want to take it on?" "No, thanks, mate. Cheers, bye." I don't want it.
Well, I will say that, and I remember us talking about it a long time ago about the you can actually, in the scrapers, you actually can resolve. You can put a resolver in the scrapers for add-ons. Like add-ons can actually resolve that link. And I remember us talking about it way back when on the Universal Scraper days, and or the NAND scrapers, about you can actually do it. So we may see some add-ons that have their own scraper packages actually add that to the function. So that could happen. I don't. The biggest. Huh?
I'm gonna take off.
All right, Mark.
See you later.
Hey, bud. I will say the biggest issue that I see is Cody 19. That is going to be, when people talk about ResolveURL or URL Resolver, I think that because Cody 19, you're going to have to rewrite in Python 3, which everything right now is in Python 2.
Python 2 is dead. Python 2 is no longer supported. In the wider tech community, it has been killed. Why is Ed asking me to simulate a blow? No, thanks, mate. I mean,
no, he's not.
If you want, but I'm not doing one. Yeah, Python 2.7 in the wider IT world is dead. It doesn't exist. It's not recommended. There are no pushes. There are no security updates being made to it. So Cody 19 has decided to follow the trends, which is the common trends of moving to the most stable version, which is Python 3. And it's not a case of just changing Python 2 to Python 3 in your code. There's a lot of changes. We do a lot of Python at work, and we do a lot of Node. We've been doing a massive piece of work at the moment, moving a relatively simple application from Python 2 to Python 3. And it's so far taken around 6 weeks to do a full build and regression test, because it's just every module's changed. They've become more stricter on objects and strings and validation. And so it's not a copy, paste and search and find style thing. It's going to take some time for people. I will suspect that whilst there is some backward compatibility in Python 3 running Python 2, very limited compatibility, you'll find that a lot of add-ons will cease to exist the moment that 19 is pushed with Python 3, because no one knows how to update it.
But people can stay on 18.
Yes, you can stay on 18. Of course you can. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've probably got a box running somewhere with Frodo.
That's right. Yeah.
But you know, if you're following the trends of everyone else, you know, people will adopt the change and they'll go with it. But in terms of the add-on developers that are not actually add-on developers, they're just list makers, they are not necessarily going to understand how to migrate their existing code from Python 2 to Python 3. And they'll just go, well, it's Cody 18 only. We don't support Cody 19. Cody 19 shit. No such thing. Cody 19 isn't shit. It just needs a bit more work. Cody itself isn't shit. It's just your misunderstanding of it. So people are not going to adopt that change. It will hang around for a long time, and then the add-on will either cease to exist or will just become stale and stagnant.
Right. And it's so once 19 isn't ready, and I saw people wrote over here that it's not ready, and it's true. It's still a ways off.
Ready. It's a long way away.
It's ways off, but once it does become out there, everything is all things inside of Cody 19 have to be, like all the modules and scripts and add-ons, everything will have to be redone, because it's a whole nother, it's like taking a gasoline car and say, well, I'm just going to swap the parts over this electric car. Well, no, you can't just swap over those parts. Those parts are not interchangeable. You've got a whole new thing. And it's so I think that it's going to take some time. That's
why it is taking time, because they are having to rebuild everything.
Yep.
You know, they're having to change the core engine from Python 2 to Python 3, and it really is not as simple as just changing the version number.
Yep.
There are so many different changes, and Python 3 has become more strict. It requires more thought, and it's very verbose if there's a problem, where Python 2 is like, you've had an error, I'll carry on. But if it fails,
look at that.
Look at an error. shit goes the world.
Yeah, look at your Kodi log, and you'll see all kinds of errors.
Yeah, you'll just see shitloads,
and it still runs.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you know, I think what will happen is that if you're going to take on an add-on that's doing stuff like that, you really need to make sure that you're aware of what you're doing and you have the time. Add-ons will inadvertently die with Kodi 19 and Python 3, and then in terms of URL resolver or ResolverURL, someone will pick it up. But if that person's watching this, be very careful. Try not to have a social media presence. Do not publicize it under any existing name that you've got right now is my strongest piece of advice to you, because you are going to be a target. People are going to come after you inadvertently at some point throughout your programming time, because you are empowering add-ons that will have access to content that you don't have to pay for. Be careful.
Yeah. And there was, again, this isn't, even though he says he's not going to be pushing any more updates, right? And it's still going to continue to work. Your real debris is going to work. Everything's going to work. Over time, it may start to degrade. And by then, hopefully somebody's taken it on. I will post or talk about it on the show if there's somebody that I trust that I think's doing a good job. I'll do my best to answer those questions. And hopefully someone will take it on. And like I think what Carl says, I'm hoping someone stays very anonymous about it and they do it and you don't know who they are. And just like we talked about it last week about there's certain add-ons, you don't know who's running the add-on anymore. I think that's way better. I'm getting O'Neill. What am I? I'm getting there. Damn, I was hearing Robot Man in my head. I think it's best if I already forgot what the hell I was talking about. So just be careful. I think right now it's going to work. Stay anonymous. I think that's what I was talking about, the add-ons that stayed anonymous. I think that's best. I think whoever takes over ResolveURL, and there's possibly a few people that can do it that I've seen in some of the groups, and maybe they will, and I hope they do. And if they do, I'll post it and mention it and suggest it. And, you can decide if you can trust me. Decide if you trust me. I'm sorry. See, I hear this like.
Hang on, right? Let me switch my mic. Hold on 1 second.
Look, you're blaming Mark, and look at.
I'm not blaming Mark. Hang on 1 sec.
Look at this. This StreamYard is great for all this fucking bad echo. Okay, there. Yes. I'm not hearing Robot Man anymore.
This fucking thing is a piece of shit.
It's great. You sound so sexy.
Hi.
Oh, no, wait, don't do that. Wait, you got a little too close to that. It doesn't look good. That is a bad image right there. No, bad image. Hey. Yeah, I think I saw some pictures. I don't want to have to bring those pictures back up.
What it is because this condensing mic, it's not USB, which is shit. But also I have a MacBook Pro which doesn't have USB anyway, so it doesn't work properly. I've got dongles upon dongles plugging it in and making it work. So yeah, my fault. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't mean to scare you with my robot voice. Diana trusts your face.
Yeah. You know what? That's one of the things that when I first started.
Tony Stark.
Fake it. That's true. Who the hell wrote fake ass Tony Stark?
Me.
Oh, okay. That's fine. I was like, wait a minute, I'm kicking someone up. No. Yeah, one of the things that used to bug me about different YouTubers and that you never knew who they were and they would always hide who they were. And I've always said who I was. I don't hide who I am. I try to be as honest and straightforward. Don't know all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I do the best I can to give you the complete story and let you make up your decision or your mind on your own, not tell you what to believe. Because so often, so many people are like, "This is the right way, and this is what you need to do."
There's that really good YouTuber that likes to put green screens everywhere and then wears sunglasses. I don't know who he is. I haven't got a clue who he is.
Okay, where's my sunglasses? Now, so yeah, so we're gonna see what happens with all this. Again, don't get yourself worked up. Don't click on videos where people start talking about this, the end of the Cody, blah blah blah. That's bullshit. Um, it'll all sort out. And I had wrote on one of the groups that Cody is open source. It has been around a long time. If anybody of us were the old Xbox guys, XBMC guys, gals, XBMC has been around a long time, and people carry the baton for a certain period of time. Certain people will come into the scene because they're doing it free. They're doing it just to help, and they carry the baton for a certain period of time. And then, you know what? It becomes a hassle. They've got real life gets in the way, their family, whatever. They decide this ain't for them no more, and they stop. Somebody else comes along, picks up that baton, and carries it down the road farther, changes it up a little bit. That's what's happening here. It's just a matter of JSergio carried the baton for a certain period of time, and you know what? He's saying, hey, this is the end of my leg of the race. It's time for somebody else to take the baton and to carry it for the next leg of the race. So just be careful of you know, the doom and gloom, the sky's falling. I don't believe all that. You know, I'll shoot you straight. If you want to hit me up on Telegram or when we do a show, if you ask questions, I'll tell you. I'll be honest with you about it if it's something to worry about. It's going to get worked out. Somebody's going to take it on. Someone's going to fork it and call it whatever. And it'll be that person's leg of the race. And that's happened from, we can go back in add-ons back to Mashup. I mean, people used to think Mashup was the all be all. That was the only thing. And guess what?
That was
it carried the baton for a certain period of time. And guess what?
Mash decided that, you know, his real life took over. I think he got threatened though as well, didn't he? He saw things happening, and he had that guy Hacker Mill on his system.
Hacker Mill, yep.
And that obviously caused a few problems when they decided to create those boxes and then didn't ship them.
Yeah. Well, anytime, and I've said this, and that's why I don't give you any hyperlinks. I don't promote and say, hey, go buy this service, go buy that service, because I'm telling you folks.
Telling everyone to go buy hosting from me.
I just suggest, but when you involve money in what I'm doing, the YouTube and in the /building /Cody stuff, when you involve money into it and you're getting money back from it, you're setting yourself up for something to go bad. All these IPTV sellers that have been knocked down, and you saw them all over Twitter, and you've seen them. They were, promoting all over Twitter, and all of a sudden now they're gone. They got too big. I tell builders all the time: stay small, stay quiet, do your build, do whatever you're going to do. Stay quiet. Just do your thing quietly. Don't try to be the biggest and best build out there, or the biggest add-on. That was one of the reasons why the Gen template was, let's not have 1, 2 big add-ons, 3 big add-ons. Let's have 1,000 add-ons, because you can't shut down 1,000 add-ons, but you can shut down 3. It's the same idea. So I see Tribalize. What's up? Hold on a second. I got a message from somebody. Oh, okay. Well, I had a message from somebody on the thing.
Why are you talking about me like this? I don't know what he sounds like. I've never spoken to him.
I have never spoke to him on that, but I'm in a few groups with him. So, yeah. So what? By the way, what's with your Cash App? I don't have Super Chat. I don't have none of it, Sharon. I have none of it. Well, I have PayPal, but I just use it to transfer money around. That's because I'm a high roller, and I'm able to move lots and hundreds and millions of dollars around.
High roller.
So I would all right. So Bob asks about this, and I'm not sure about this. I'm wondering, do all APKs use the resolver too?
No, the truth is, don't know because they're closed.
Yeah,
I mean, you decompile them and then like try and read them, but even decompiling an add-on doesn't give you an APK doesn't give you everything.
Yeah, and hence the reason why I've said sometimes APKs could actually have hidden code and doing stuff that you have no idea what it's doing because nobody's breaking it down. Kodi apps or Kodi add-ons are so simple to read. I mean, if you go into your Kodi folder, you can read it all. Even if they try to base 64 and all that bullshit, that doesn't work. You still can read it. You can read it because if Kodi can read it, the people can use it. So people can look at a Kodi app or add-on and read it and say, oh, that's doing some shady shit or not. APKs, unless you really know what you're doing, it's a lot to look at. And I don't know anybody that's really going through APKs with a fine-tooth comb looking.
Some of these APKs are born out of people decompiling older ones and changing them a little bit.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of clones because that Terrarium TV has probably 5 or 10 clones out there right now. That because Terrarium TV was really popular and then it closed, and so then people took it and forked it and put it out there. So yeah, let's hopefully that everything will work out here, folks. Just don't get too worked up. Don't chase ambulances and get all worked up when you're going to see. I was shocked that I didn't see Twitter things going on about this. I was really shocked. I saw it in some of the Telegram groups, people talking about it and asking how's it going to affect. Again, I don't think it's going to be a quick issue that you're going to see right away. I think over time you'll see an issue if nothing gets fixed. But I'm thinking an issue you're going to see it if it happens would be 4 or 5, 6 months down the road. You might start to see issues. I don't think it's going to be something right away. Yeah, I'm looking through here. Oh, I want to mention one thing about, and I talked about it on the last show, the Wacko app. He is no longer developing it, and he wants it. It's out there, but he's basically doesn't want any videos on it, not promoting it. He's removed a lot of the scrape. Well, he has moved all the scrapers. You have to use other things to get it to work. So I won't be doing any videos on that. I did have some people message me after the last show and asked and said, hey, are you going to do an updated video? I will not be doing an updated video.
Yeah,
he asked me not to.
That's one of the things that's quite unique about what you do is that a developer will ask you, do not do something, and you'll honor that, and you won't do it. Or if you've already promoted it or done a video on it and they say, can you take it down? You'll take it down. There are some YouTubers out there that will just argue it. This person's asking me to take it down. They therefore must be doing something really bad.
Yeah, he messaged. He said I removed my videos, and I did. All my old videos are gone. And I told him, I said,
put it on my Twitter. Like, if you're going to do a YouTube video on an add-on or a build, make sure you get the permission of the person that's done it first, because you're inadvertently opening them up to a load of publicity that they might not necessarily want or need.
And that was when I messaged him and said, hey, do you want it? Because he said, can you take them down? I said, do you want an updated video or do you want no videos? And he says, I would prefer no videos because I'm just a little nervous on it. He hasn't gotten in trouble, but he's reading the writing on the wall. And I said, I can respect that. It's just perfectly fine. Now, like I said, the app still works. It's great. If you're a person that wants to mess around with it, it works great. It's a fun little thing on your phone. But hopefully nobody else will be doing that. I see JSergio is actually in the chat on the side and says everyone should be using a Debrid service. And I think most of the people that watch the show, I would guess probably 90% of them are using it because we talk about it all the time. I mean, can you find free links? Sure you can. But guess what? It's going to take me time. And maybe I'm watching the movie or TV show for like 10 or 15 minutes and starts buffering. There's nothing worse than getting halfway through a show and it buffers. And I got to back up and go find another link and then start again, get back into it. For me, it's worth the $36. If you need the $36 a year, then don't buy it. That's up to you. You decide what works best for you. So he says he'll keep the Debrid plugins working. All right. So JSergio, I want to ask this question. But one of the things you did say on it though is you said you would not be creating the packages. So unless someone forks ResolveURL, there's no way for people to pull it off your GitHub because you're only going to post the fixes on your GitHub. Am I correct by reading from what I had read? Because that's how I kind of read it, that it was not going to push the package, which means compiling it, putting it in a zip and putting it out there, that it would be, hey, if you want the fixes, here they are. And if I'm guessing if you had a fork of ResolveURL, you could implement them. So we have to wait a few minutes because there's a delay between the time Carl and I are talking and then the time you guys see it. So then it takes some time.
We are time travelers.
Okay, so he says that is correct. So what he's going to do is he will create the fixes on GitHub and say, hey, this is what the fix is. And then whoever forks ResolveURL will take that fix and then create it and update the ResolveURL or whatever the fork is called. So that's what he's saying. So that makes sense. I mean, that's what I thought when I saw his tweet and one of the messages. I thought that's what he was saying. Except for maybe the Debrid plugins, which I will build packages for those updates. Okay. All right. So a lot of this, and again, all respect to the work, and I posted it in some of the groups. I massively respect anybody. I massively respect anybody that does this work. All right. We're using, this is StreamYard. Hold on a second.
Inviting someone in. Just type in his credit card numbers in there, guys.
Shut up.
Try and work out which numbers his big fingers are tapping on the keyboard. But you haven't really got big fingers, though, have you? You actually got little man fingers. I got little fingers.
No, I was told these are sausage fingers. What the hell are you talking
about? Fingers.
Them are sausage fingers.
You got like a balloting.
That was one of the things. All right, so Blue says that I type louder than anybody. She says, how do you type so loud on that little bitty keyboard? I'm like, that's because I type with vengeance. It's fucking hard.
It's like when we were talking earlier that you talk with authority. You're typing with authority. Like,
that's right. I know what the hell I'm talking about.
But what he's also doing as well is he's like this. Okay. All
right, hold on a second. I'm making sure that
you cut him off.
Well, I see he's in the chat. I'm making sure his camera's not on, and I don't see it on. I don't see it on.
We don't want to.
No. Okay. All right. So his camera's not on. So that's work. Does your microphone work?
It should. Can you hear me?
Yes. Awesome.
There we go.
Oh shit! I thought he was Greek or some shit.
Nah. So this will be the only time I ever do this. You have to apologize. I have to apologize if my kids are loud in the background.
That's cool.
My God, you're absolutely completely different what I thought you were. Wow. I'm mildly racist over here.
Yeah, you damn pig. But hey, like I said, I want to say massive thanks to you. Thanks for massive respect for the work that you've done, the things that you've done in the past. And I know that people have all said that, but people don't understand what goes on behind the scenes in a lot of Kodi add-ons and scripts and shit to make this stuff run, to be able to click and have things play. They don't understand the responsibility, the what it takes. And you've done this for a while, so I just want to say thank you from the community, because I'm sure you've heard a lot from people. So thanks.
Yeah, everybody's been pretty much supportive. So I think you covered it best, though. You basically said, like, I took the baton. You know, I took it from TK Nars, which he helped me a lot. You know what I mean? Lambda helped me a lot. So now it's someone else's turn to take it from me. I don't have the time required to keep the hosts, the free plugins working, especially with Ace taking most of the sites down already. Sorry, my son is playing Roblox. He gets a little rage. So.
That's like my son when he's playing Call of Duty. It's just like it.
He doesn't like when
Raging.
people kill him. He doesn't like when people kill him. So
I don't know.
I'm gonna try to keep it short. So
Yeah.
I'm going to keep the dbridge plugins working. You know, they rarely have to get updated. So if you see an update from me, it will be 6 months, maybe a year. You know, a lot of the free hosts are going down anyway. Ace is taking them down. You know, you've seen it with Open Load. You know, all the big guys are going down. I still see the point in them where everybody should be paying for Real to Brid. That Real to Brid put in the time. They're making money from it anyway. So let them put in the time resolving the host, and I'll just resolve the service. So
Blue Hat says he sees that look at your they can see that your son doesn't want you to quit either.
The wife probably doesn't want me to quit, you know what I mean? Because she likes to watch her shows.
Yeah.
And it's not like I don't do this. Yeah, I do it for some people because they can't afford it, but I pay for everything. I pay for Netflix, I pay for Disney Plus, I pay for Amazon Prime. I have cable. I like to watch what I want to watch when I want to watch it without commercials. I want to binge watch stuff that's on TV, even if it's not on Netflix. So that's really what it's about. You know, I think all the cable companies and streaming people need to realize that we want to watch what we want to watch when we want to watch it.
Yep.
So they're going to need to adapt. You know what I mean? If they can't adapt, then, there's always going to be someone like me. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. Well, and that's happened, and we've talked about that in previous shows that cable companies, satellite companies aren't willing to adapt because of I talked about in the last show the way that the media companies have locked them into to these big contracts where they're stuck having to pay for big packages when these cable companies or satellite companies don't want to, but they're forced to by Disney or ABC or whoever. They're forced to buy it, so you can't a la carte you. So they're forced to have to do it, but in the same way, I'm not going to pay $120 for cable TV when there's only a handful of channels I want to watch. I'm going to do other things. So I see that things are going to change, and it's we talked about it last week that the subscription to cable and satellite TV is dropped like 4 million US, 4 million a year. It's dropped down 4 million a year as cable cutting has went up 4 million a year. And I showed the graph. It had a graph doing like this. So, it happens. So, we all do this. But again, I'm hoping and I trust that somebody else will pick up the baton. Somebody else is going to take this on and carry it for a while and do what they need to do.
Well, my only concern is, like I told you in Keybase, is whoever does decide to do it keeps it, no bias, strictly clean. No malicious stuff, no personal gain, which is I've tried to do. You know what I mean? Now, if I showed you my Twitter messages, the TV, TV IPTV sellers, can you promote this? Can you promote that? I'll give you resale. I never did none of that shit.
Yeah,
and I'll never will. And the MPA, they came to my house twice. They flew out here from Texas. They flew to my house and knocked on my door. You know what I mean? So, like O'Neill was saying, if you do decide to do this, keep it low key. Twitter's not the place for you.
That's the thing, right? So
just do it because you like it. That's all, really.
You have been approached twice.
Yes, twice.
And how did you talk your way out? I mean, I don't mean like talk your way out.
I didn't talk. I told them to go fuck off. What are you going to sue me for? I mean, I got into this. Not saying I'm poor, but I got into this because money is tight. Look at the ways. You know what I mean? And
but surely,
what's he going to take? I have nothing. What are you going to take from me?
But so, what did they say to you? So you are JSergio. We've tracked you back, but you're not someone that posts a lot of things. So how did they find you?
So I'm probably on Twitter. I think they got me through Netflix and through my Amazon account because when I came here, I didn't really. I was just a user like most people, and with coding background and everything like that, I had used my email with my Netflix. So I'm pretty sure that's how they get me. So all they had to do was just look and see if JSergio was signed up with fucking Netflix, and that's how they got me. So that's what I'm assuming. It wasn't hard.
Is JSergio a pseudonym?
Yes or no?
So right. So they've spent some effort and they've tracked you down, and then they've knocked on your door and went, "Hi, we believe you're this person. You're doing this. Stop fucking doing it right now."
Yeah, so basically, like, they try to scare me like they try to scare everybody else. Sign this thing, you know what I mean? Snitch on other people. We want access to your hard drives, and you need to tell us that you'll never do this again. And so basically,
And
I said, go fuck off.
how did that initially make you feel, given that you were doing something to just help people out, and suddenly you've got these wankers turning up saying to you, "We think you're an arsehole, do this, do that."
Well, it went bad when I think the whole Covenant thing and the whole Colossus repo. So I guess they kind of pinned me as the head of that.
But you're not involved in any of those, though, are you? Which is weird.
I mean, at that time, you know what I mean? Like, URL Resolver was in there. Right. And I was associating with Echo Coder and everybody. And I don't know what those guys were telling people, but basically I got pinned as the ringleader, I guess. You know what I mean?
Well, that was because they were already watching because of Adam, and they were already focusing in on all that stuff. So they just kind of carried it along.
So here's a question I'm going to ask you, and please don't take offense to this, but everyone I think is thinking the same thing. Are you giving this up because you've had more pressure from them applied to you, and therefore taking a negative impact on your family and your life?
No, not at all. So basically,
because you just haven't got the time.
I don't have the time the project requires. You know what I mean? So it's, people are, hey, can you update this? Hey, can you update that? Hey, can you push an update? Hey, this shit is broken. I don't have the time. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't think it's fair to, everybody else for me to just do this at my convenience. You know what I mean? It's a lot of effort. And I like to maybe put out updates every at least once a month. But I think the last update I pushed out before my last one was December. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So shit's broken.
So they've been out twice. They've come at you. I mean, this is important stuff to note, because you don't have add-ons that have lists of films in. You just look at public websites, right? So I think it's important that people hear your side of the story here. So they've been out to you. They've come at you, and you've told them, "I'm not interested. Go away." And then you've carried on, but life's taken over. You've decided to quit. Do you think that they'll leave you alone now, or do you think that they'll always be looking at you and watching you?
I mean, honestly, I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, they got enough money to do whatever they want, so they could throw money and they could drag me through litigation, and it doesn't matter to them because they got enough, all the money in the world. So I haven't heard from them in shit. I don't even know how long. Over a year, I guess. Mm-hmm. But I'm not quitting because of them. It's just
no. I know that.
It's just I did stop doing. I had movie add-ons and stuff like that. TinklePad. I did drop all that just to avoid it. You know what I mean? But I told them basically, look, listen. The URL resolver is fair game. Don't take it up with me. I resolve. Mm-hmm. Take it up with them. Whoever's hosting it. And I don't even look at this stuff like. So when I resolve something, I'm just looking at the requests. Mm-hmm. I don't play the video. I just make sure it resolves. That's it. You know what I mean? I don't go to the websites. I don't search for links. People send me an example link or whatnot, and then I'll resolve it. If it resolves and it comes back, 200 okay, there you go.
Right.
The scrapers handle all the other shit.
Yeah.
The scrapers are the one that go out and find the content. I just resolve it. I don't know what's there
because they're going to go to the websites and then pull the links.
Yeah.
That's what you touched on, and you mirrored some of the comments that I made about whoever picks this up next should hide themselves away. In terms of the changes that you pushed in the past, usually within an hour or so, they're being picked up by Adam and his lot. What's your view on that? How do you feel about the changes that you're making are now powering something else that could have a negative impact on everything else that you've done?
I mean, honestly, it's open source, man. It
is open source. But
first of all, most of that code in there, I did not do. You know what I mean? Everybody has credit. TK Nars and Lambda and everybody before them, they have put the time in on that. You know what I mean? So I just basically, other than adding torrent support to it, I basically kept the plugins working. That's really it. So I'm okay with TV add-ons and Adam doing what he's doing. I don't approve because he's not making his own contributions to it. So he's basically just taking my fixes and moving it to the original project, which would be okay if he was adding his own fixes to it. So it makes it confusing for people. You know what I mean?
Well, the only issue I had was the last update when he added Indigo as an install. That was where it forced Indigo to install, and I'm like, well, why? I mean, and it was because
we know
the
why.
URL was yeah, but it's like that was what bugged me. It was like, why are you installing crap on people's that didn't ask for that? I mean, if I asked for Indigo, fine, I'll go get Indigo and install. I don't want you to force it so that you can sell your IPT or sell your VPN service. I'm not here. You know what I'm saying? That was, to me, was fine if he wants to copy and clone it, but then when he adds, and I see that as malicious code. That's malicious code that you've added. You forced it on people. Now not this last time, it wasn't in there that I noticed, but it's like, why? I mean, I know you're there for about $1. You want the money, but it's like,
so my take on it is, they took his whole site down when he went dark, and that's how I took over. So basically, TVA went dark. I heard nothing from Adam or anyone for like a month. So I was like, you know what? Someone needs to do this. Me being like the #1 contributor other than TK Nars, I figured, hey, I'm gonna do it. I did it, but now he's trying to rebuild TVA again, get his users back and everything like that. So I mean, he's pushing that on people. I'm sure he sees this as an opportunity of me stepping away.
So do you think he'll step in, ride the lightning, and be like, "Hey everyone, TVA, the only resource for URL Resolver"?
No, I don't, because I don't really see anybody there anymore. Who is there, really? You know what I mean?
It's just Adam, isn't there? And he's just
whoever. Well,
what's his name? Manhawk or whatever. I mean, who's really there?
There was that. Who's that other? Cody Bay. Wasn't it Cody Bay? That was whoever Cody Bay is, because that was who created the next Exodus. And then if you look at where he cloned a bunch of stuff, and it seemed like TVA was pushing that for a little bit of time. Because I remember he did a blog and said, this is the only developer that I really trust. And he did a blog about Cody Bay. I'm like, nobody ever heard of this guy until a week ago. And now he's trusted. It just, I don't know, it just seemed shady. And what worries, like I said earlier in the show, what worries me is that with this stepping away, which is fine and it's cool. And what worries me is that TVA steps up and says, well, we've got this. And then 6, 8, 9 months down the road, all of a sudden they put that Indigo or whatever. They can put anything in there as an install.
You have this if you install our stuff.
And the thing is that people will never know it until that crap installs. And then all of a sudden they're like, why do I got this Exodus and this Indigo? Because remember, that's what it did on Placenta. Hijacked the repo and then forced over that stuff. And next thing you know, everyone had Indigo and Exodus. That was not. It was like another version of X. It's like, why the hell would you do that? I mean, I don't know. To me, it's frustrating because I do this because I like this. It's my hobby. I enjoy it. I enjoy the people. I want to do my little bit, but it bugs me when I see people that are taking advantage of the situation or taking advantage of people. And it's like, man, these people aren't here just for your meal ticket.
It's good for you guys because you guys keep it clean. When they try to get over on people and push that bullshit, you guys like, hey, you guys call them out, like, yeah.
Well,
and then when he gets caught, he takes it down. But most developers, if it wasn't for other developers viewing their code, who knows what they would put in that shit.
In terms of like, obviously you've handed it up. Someone has said, has anyone given you a notice that they've expressed some interest in taking it over from you? Are you actively involved in who's going to take it over, or are you just going to let people go at it and do what they want?
So I asked, the fellow community or developers, whatever, if you do take over this project, fork it completely so people don't think I'm the one pushing the updates or I have anything to do with your code. I have tried to get other people, over the months to take on this as lead. There's just no interest in it because it takes too much. No one wants to be that person.
There's probably also a lack of talent that could handle something that big.
Because here's the thing. Like I said, TK Norris, he had laid the groundwork out.
Yeah, but
all you have to do, other than the new Python 3, all you really have to do is keep the plugins working, add new resolvers for new sites, take out ones that are dead. And basically, if you look at the the plugins, TK has made it very easy to resolve now. Most of the functions are built in. I mean, you could pretty much do it like one line on most of them. You know what I mean? Because it has like a generic resolver, you know? And other than that, you know, you just maybe change a couple regexes or something. And that's really it.
I guess it's I'm just worried about anyone picking it up. I think the risk of it being too public and people going, I'm doing it now because I want the respect and I want your happiness.
Well, lots of people like that virtual blowjob. And
yeah, they want a virtual blowjob. You've clearly not done it for that.
Great.
You've done it because you've tried to help people.
A lot of people want that.
And you've been hit up twice, and you know it's changed now. So what I think I go back to what I said before, is whoever's going to pick this up, be anonymous. You know, push updates, yes, but you know, don't, like JSergio just said, don't use your same fucking email address.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't
be me. Don't be me.
Well, hey, you remember back in the day? Well, I go back to Nan when we used to when all of us were using our regular emails. We were all using because none of us thought there would be any kind of repercussions, and everyone got in trouble all at the same time, and it was. And they're like, well, your repo had your real email address and this and that, and then it linked to a hosting, and your hosting had your real name on it. Because at the time, we never thought years ago that there was it was like, I'm not hosting this. I'm just doing this and this, and there wasn't any ramifications to it. But now there is, and you know, hence why I don't do any add-ons. I don't want to be involved in doing an add-on anymore. I'll help people, but I'm not there to do that no more because I don't need to have someone knocking on my door, you know, asking for, you know, to come inside. And I don't need all that.
So that's you be Mr. MPAA or AC. Don't knock on my fucking door because I've got a massive baseball bat behind the door. I will smash you in the face with it.
I've only got a 45, so I don't have a baseball bat.
Same with the guy that tried breaking.
I'm America, man. We're allowed to have guns.
Hey, I had a bloke try breaking into my house the other night. Fucker run when I came chasing after him, and I've got a Ring doorbell and it captured all of it.
I wasn't even home. The wife answered the door. She called me like, some people came here with some papers talking about they was from the movie people. I'm like, what? She's like, what you get us into now?
Oh man, my ex would have had my shit outside. All my stuff would have been on the front porch.
Then she can't watch TV.
I bet you got bollocking, didn't you? What the fucking hell have you done? Why have you done it? Of course, you dick.
I mean, honestly, I knew I didn't do nothing wrong. You know what I mean? I didn't have nothing to worry about. Like you said, they got enough money to do whatever they want, and we do need TVA to win their case because it's gonna, if they lose, it's gonna affect everyone else. You know what I mean? So you do need them to win, whether you like them or not. We do need them to win.
Yeah, I don't have to like them. I don't.
I don't know what likes them.
I've never hid that fact. It's like the whole time I used to
be with TVA. I don't want to say like I was in with those guys, but you know, I was with the higher guys, you know, and they kind of told me, but I think I was kind of lied to from Adam. You know what I mean? I was made to think it was one thing when it really wasn't. And once I kind of realized like, hey, this is all about money, I was like, I'm getting away from this shit.
Well, I don't.
You had an involvement with Adam. You knew Adam then.
Not in real life, but in, you know, from, we used to use unseen. We used to use unseen. That was like.
Did he have as much money as he made out?
I don't know, but we all seen the boat, the picture of the boat. I don't know what's going on over there. I know he doesn't work, and TVA is his life. You know what I mean? It's his job. You know what I mean?
I can go and sit on some boat and pretend it's mine. Hell, I can walk up the street and just grab a random girl and get a selfie. Doesn't mean she's mine. The next camera shot, though, she's smacking me over the back of the head with a bottle. But you know,
But it made me question, though. I don't mean to cut you off, but it made me question what these guys were really doing. How, you know, hey, I didn't really know these guys. You know what I mean? Are they really, you know, fueling the box industry? Are they really profiting off, you know, 25 million users a month? You know what I mean? Where's the money going? Because think about this. But you coming to me like, hey, I need you to put 10 hours in today, and you know what I mean? Like, for what?
Yeah, you remember that every Chinese box had it. I mean, every box had it. Which
well, me and Lambda used to attack Dragon Box all the time. We used to wipe the Dragon Boxes. Me and Lambda.
Everyone had XBMC Hub back in the day. It was all XBMC Hub everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I used to go on the Facebook page and just laugh as the people would go on there like, "Oh, my box got wiped. My box got wiped," and we would wipe them and then take out the code real fast. You know what I mean? Then put back a clean version. We ain't never really did nothing wrong, but we only did it to them, like no one else's box.
Well, because Dragon Box, that guy was a dick. Do you remember?
Yeah, that guy was a dick, yo.
He was a dick, and I mean, remember he was in his house in Hawaii, and he's talking about how much, and then he starts talking about, yeah, I've got this box. It's got 8 gigs of RAM. And I'm like, ain't no fucking 8. That was back when shit only had like a gig. He's like, yeah, I've got 8 gigs of RAM.
Fucking MX box rebranded, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like, no, it doesn't. And he's like, yeah, these boxes are $300.
Well, he was
$300.
They're making millions of dollars, and we're catching the heat.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of like you see what Lambda did. He put that botnet code in there, like, and then I guess he lost his mind with it a little bit.
Yeah, he got a little excited. That was
we never heard from him again. But he was a great developer, man. He really knew his shit. You know what I mean?
Well, and he was a great guy. Now that code, I guess, across the line, and I know. Well, Blue was in that circle, and she said nothing but nice things about Lambda. Always.
Oh yeah, he would help everyone.
She says he was the nicest guy in the world. She goes, he was so nice and sweet. She says, but then over time, I think it's people's, like you said, when you get these messages from person after person after person messaging you about, hey, do this, do this, do this. You're like, man, you start to become a little jaded because it's like, man, get off of me, get off my back.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
people got spoiled. People got spoiled, and they felt entitled to, hey, like, yeah. And I'm not entitled to spend 8 hours of my day, sifting through code and websites and, sniffing out requests and trying to freaking, find ways to break JavaScript without using, Java modules and stuff. Like, that shit's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I really appreciate what you've done. I know that it's awesome that I can't believe you came on. Hey, I completely am flabbergasted that you came on and to put yourself out. I'm glad you didn't turn the camera on. I don't want you getting into trouble.
I don't have a camera, so I couldn't do it anymore.
Oh, good.
Are you tech backed? Are you, because I mean, the fact that you've been trying to break JavaScript code, are you tech backed? Do you have a job in IT?
So I do my own thing. Right now I'm like kind of like in between things, like, you know what I mean? So I'm like construction based, and I do coding as well.
Right.
So I do a little bit of everything.
You should be a butcher. I'm a butcher. That's my damn trade. We'll go ahead and teach how to cut meat.
I can't deal with the blood, man. I like my shit cooked.
We'll get you in line. We're always looking for new butchers.
I couldn't be a butcher. I can't touch raw fucking meat. It makes me freak out.
And it's
and I don't eat chicken off the bone because it's disgusting.
You're soft. You're soft.
I was also thinking maybe doing like a light package where I just have the universal resolvers, you know what I mean? And just completely drop all the other free shit. Or you can add it yourself, kind of like how I did with the porn resolvers. I took them out, and then if you have an adult add-on, you can bring them back in, but separate from the package. Like
you'd actually drop them into the package, or would they be like in the settings?
You just import them. Import them. So if you go to my GitHub, you'll see there's instruction. You could just import them.
Huh. I don't watch that kind of stuff, so
neither do I.
I do research for the community to make sure things work. That's the only thing I do, but I don't watch it.
Yeah.
Hey, all right, so we'll go ahead and we'll get close because we're at almost 2 hours. I know I try to keep my shows halfway short. Yeah, right. I will say one thing. There's a big fight tomorrow night. Night.
I didn't know me and you were fighting.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a big fight if it was me and you.
We're friends.
I'm wiry, motherfucker. I'd be like, no. But tomorrow night, all right. So the big fight's tomorrow night. I would suggest 2 free add-ons that would. I think Mad Titan and Inside Death Star is going to have it, and I know the crew will have it, and I'm sure other ones will if you don't have a subscription for a IPTV service. So those would be 2 add-ons that I would think off the top of my head that would get you in there.
I'm not watching it. It's 5
You're
a.m.
not. You're not watching it. You don't even watch Cody. All you watch is Plex.
I do.
Plex.
I love the good. I've just been like smashing through the Good Place. I pay for Netflix. I pay for Virgin. I have full packages. I won't be buying Disney Plus because
I got it free because of my phone.
yeah, all right. You can
Because I'm American. American, man.
Y'all can lend me your login and I'll watch TV for free.
I would, but you'd have to use a VPN because I can have like 15 people, so I would give it to you.
Okay.
All right, guys, I'm gonna get out of here.
All right,
I just want to
JSergio,
thank
thanks.
everybody though. Anybody that follows me on Twitter, you guys have always said nice things about me, and I appreciate everything. And
I think
do support your content creators like Netflix and Disney Plus, because without them, you're not going to have any content. So, you know what I mean?
I think we speak for everyone when we say thank you very much for everything that you have done. You are truly one of. You are a developer, whether you want to think so or not, and you are core to what we enjoy. So, from everyone, thank you very, very much, and we wish you the absolute best in whatever it is that you do next.
Yep.
And don't be a stranger. Don't be a stranger. Just
no, I'm not going anywhere. I'll still be on Twitter. You guys can reach out on me on Keybase. I'll still help anybody with any questions. I don't have the time to put into the project. You know what I mean? So hopefully someone else picks it up.
Does that group of old people still exist on Keybase?
I like Keybase better than Telegram, and Telegram requires phone number. I ain't with that shit. So.
Or you just use a fake number.
Yeah.
I use Todd's.
Yeah.
I like Keybase because it has like encrypted Git and everything like that. You can do like encrypted.
Now you're being a nerd. Stop it.
Yeah, sorry about that. All right.
All right. Thanks, JSergio. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
No problem.
Wow, I mean
Okay.
that was an absolute shock and an honor. You've seen it here now, episode 72 of Streaming Matters, and JSergio and lifts the veil behind everything. I think that's great. You ain't gonna get that on no Mitch's Place or fuck hey, out of it. Come on, you ain't gonna get that on Mitch's Place or fucking Hush Scam. We got JSergio. This is the real shit.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. It's good. I mean, I really enjoy having people on. And I try again. I'm not perfect. I actually had a tuber. I had a tuber the other day says that I'm not fair to sometimes when some of my guests that I've not been nice to. But I try to do my best about being fair to people. I try to be as honest as I can. Try not to be about trying to make as much money. And I'll be honest about this. I haven't gotten money off of YouTube in a year and a half. Because
as soon as you put anything in the
it's already they basically demonetize it. So
video.
But again, I don't do it for the money. If I got a check once every 2 years, fine, whatever. I do it because I want to help people, and that's what I like. And I do like that he came on here. I don't beg people to come on. If people want to come on, great. You don't have to show who your face, and but that's awesome. I was glad he came on. That was at least he can explain it.
That's a very rarity to see someone who quite frankly is one of the most core developers that you'll come across. He's not a list generator. He's not a fucking he's not someone that just has like some little shitty add-on. That is the core of everything that we do on Kodi, third party, dark underground scenes, whatever you want. That guy there effectively gives every one of us what we want. Without him picking up the baton when TK Norris and Lambda decided that they wanted to hand it over, we wouldn't be having this conversation about Kodi. It wouldn't have happened. So whether you are an avid user, you're a massive user, you're a new user, that's the guy that you need to thank. That guy there. And it's rare to see those people that are genuinely humble. He's very humble about what he did.
Yeah, and he was
I haven't got a fucking bean. I'm just here to do it because I want free TV. Yeah. It's very rare to hear people as humble as that versus the Adams of the world who are making a shitload of money and Solomon and all that wank.
Or I want to be the biggest and best add-on or build. Can I be number one?
And even he said himself, if you take this on, go anonymous.
Yeah.
Take yourself out of the limelight. Do it for the right reasons. Don't do it for the wrong ones. Because if you are prolific on Twitter, or Instagram, Facebook, any social media network, and you've got a name to your face and a face to your name, and you start pushing that stuff, suddenly you're doing it for the wrong reason because you're getting so much association with it. He's right, and he said it himself. If you're going to do it, be anonymous and do it for the right reasons. Don't do it for anything else. He even said himself, he's had people asking him to do other things that would necessarily get him stuff, but just don't do it, man. Just, just do it. And he didn't even flag TVA off as well, which is great. He didn't. There was an option there. It was an opportunity for him to go into a little bit more detail about Adam, and he didn't. He basically said what we all knew. That's a humble guy. That's a great guy.
Yep. Awesome. Makes much respect. I'm in shock. I'm in different groups. I said I would have never expected him to jump on here with us and hang out for a minute. And I've said it to the guys that are builders, to people that are add-on guys, that if you want to come on, you can come on. I try not to have the only thing I ask is that you're not coming on here to promote your IPTV service. You're not coming on here to do that's the thing. Yeah, that's the only thing is I'm not here to try to fatten your pockets. Is the only thing I ask. So.
IPTV if you want to watch.
so all right.
I'm not telling anyone to message me if they want IPTV at all.
Yeah. But no, I know you wouldn't do that, but
no, I don't have IPTV.
Yeah, they'll follow you. Carl, so you got anything to finish up with, and we'll go ahead and roll up out of here.
No, I'm absolutely in shock by the fact that he came on, and it was great to hear from him, and I wish him all the best, really. And to whoever picks it up, just stay anonymous. Don't do it for virtual blowjobs. Just be true to the hobby and be true to the reason why you're doing it. It's a bit of fun for everyone, right? But the moment it gets serious, the moment that people are knocking on your door, just give it up. Just give it up, because it's family and life come first. And if you have someone knocking at your door saying, "Hey, we're gonna fucking sue you if you don't stop," just do it. Just don't let your pride take over and think, "Oh no, I've got to do this because I'm going to beat my chest, I'm going to be bigger than you." You never know whether that person or that organization at the time might decide that they want to make something of you. Just give it up, and walk away from it and enjoy your family and enjoy your life. They're the reason you're here, right? You pay bills and you live with your life with your family, if you're lucky enough to have one. If you don't have one, go meet someone. But it's absolutely humbling that he's come on, he's had his chat, he's had his words, and he said what he's needed to say. I think everyone is quite in awe of who he was. I think we all had a misconception of, potentially, given the surname, that he was of European descent, like a Greek or Eastern European. Completely not. I absolutely didn't know he was American and everything else. I think my final notes are, as I've said to you, every time I do this show with I love coming on here simply because I get to talk about stuff that I enjoy talking about. I don't know everything. I like to talk and find out about things, and I haven't used Kodi in a very long time. You've said that, and that's true. I like using Plex at the moment because I can just get what I want, and my kids use it and whatnot. Antisocial hosting is a hobby for me. It's a bit of something that I enjoy doing. We don't, make anything out of it, really. To be fair, it's just a bit of fun. But we take it serious, anyone that hosts with us. And I think sort of my final one really is that, the world is full of nice people. If you can't find one, be one.
That's right. That's right. You never know. Never know. And hey, I saw Kyle asked about Pia being bought. I didn't know that. I'll have to look into that, Kyle. I I've not heard about PIA because PIA is really the only VPN that I have when I use a VPN. So I'll have to look into that because it does concern me, as you saying that they
Yeah,
did you see that?
they've been bought by Cape, and Cape own a couple of companies, but Cape have also been involved in some things in the background. They've had a few news articles that have been a bit scary, to say the least. Hopefully, it's just a group company ownership, and that they're not going to get involved. But yeah, they have a few horror stories in the background around technologies.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to take a look at that, and I'll try to find out something by now. I don't know if I'll do a show next week because next Friday, Blue is going to be here, so I don't know if I'll do a show. I probably won't. Because actually, I'm picking her up. I think at 5:30.
You will be doing a show, but it ain't going to be the type of show that any of us want to watch.
So maybe I can talk her into doing a show outside of my normal Fridays at 5 Eastern Standard Time. Maybe I can talk her into doing having a show outside of that, out of that time frame. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, she'll be here. She'll come for a week. So
you two could literally be sat side by side, and she could be on her laptop and her camera, and you could be on yours, as if you're not in the same room. As if you're not in the same room.
Yes, like, yeah, she could be over on the couch. Yeah.
Suddenly, a hand will just come crawling in from the side and be like, "What you say that for, boy?"
Yeah. No, she got little hands, but no, I'm picking her up at like 5:30 ish, somewhere like that. So it would be about the time the show is on. So that'll have to be it'll be on a different day if we do it. So if you see a posting that I might have a show, that may be the deal. It won't be one of Carl's shows though. So I just want to thank.
What's one of my shows?
You know,
I don't even do a show.
Yeah, well, your kind of videos, dirty old man.
Bastard. I keep getting told I need to do a YouTube thing, but I genuinely don't have anything that I can talk about that you already don't say that is better than what I would say. Because I'd literally be like, "Hey everyone, welcome to my show. You're all cunts. I know what I'm talking about. You lot fucking don't. Shut up. Buy my video. Do you want to buy any IPTV?" The end.
All right. So Dave says, "Is she gonna make me look bad?" Yeah, because she's only like about this tall. She's gonna kill me. Wait till she sees this video.
I have some news.
Oh, all right, go ahead.
No, it's outside of this. So
okay. All right. So let me go ahead and close up. I want to again thank JSergio massively for the work that he did. Foremost, what he's done for the community. Again, the keeping the true spirit of what this is supposed to be about, which is supposed to be open source that you're doing. And if somebody else can do it a little bit better, they do it a little bit better and move on. And that's what we're hoping for, is that they're hoping. Carl, I can't look at you. But that's what we're hoping for, is it's truly open source, and again, no egos, and that's what's really fun. It's neat to see him and have him on here. So again, anybody else wants to jump on the show at any time, the developers from Cody, yeah, right. So they blocked me on Twitter.
Martin coming on going, "You're all shit."
Yeah.
Everyone is coding.
You're ruining it. Yeah, we never use this stuff. Yeah, right.
By the way, I use Exodus. Don't tell anyone in Cody.
So, but again, thanks for everyone watching. I don't even know. My brain is all messed up. This has just been a total crazy show. This went all kinds of directions. So again, streaming matters to us because streaming matters to you folks. And again, anything I can help you with, hit me up. I'll do my best to answer you as quickly as possible. I've got a job, a real life, just like everybody else. So I may not get right back to you. So I'll do what I can. And again, thanks for everyone watching, and we'll see when I do another show in the next week or two. All right. Thanks again, Mr. Carl and JSergio, for coming on. And Mark. I'm sorry. Forgot Mark.
You didn't forget Mark. You didn't really do it.